Alright, for part 2 I got another piece of knife river. I think it's actually pretty similar to the last one. Got a bevel cortex on it that needs to be removed. And there's lots of good mass here, lots of places for flakes to come off. So that should work really well. When you learning to use a sandstone hammerstone, I mean, when you want to do good work and get the work done that you expect to get done, you want good tools for that. You don't want tools that aren't going to give you the results you want. So you also need a really good high quality rock. And let's see, I'm gonna make 2 or 3 more parts to this video where basically I start advancing from here. So this one is a repeat basically of part 1. Just gonna say, maybe just do some heavy scrunching. I think I just coined a term for myself. I don't know if I want to call it that, but this one's a little funny because it goes like, the edge goes like that, and so when you're trying to create a nice clean bevel, you're gonna have trouble right here in the middle. So we got to get rid of a chunk of it, and there's already something set up here, probably from the last time I worked on this, I guess. Probably was in the field. So I don't want to take too much of this because I'm trying to show you, I want to create a bevel there, and if I take too much of it I won't have as much a bevel. Just gonna get after it, I guess. This is look at that, see all those stacked up in there? Every one of those, that little tiny flakes that came off, was one of the brushing strokes that I just did. They're little overstrikes, and I kept creeping in on it more and more and more. And see, they come off really clean on the other side because I got my angle steep, and I'm using brushing strokes to make sure that I'm not driving it in. Now that's a nice clean crisp bevel, but we're not going that way. I'll do the same thing to the other side, so I can see what it's going to look like in the middle a little bit. Doing the same thing on this end. I'm holding my finger right underneath where the flakes are coming off, not driving them into my finger, and just over striking a little bit. I'll hold that one there and take more. Gotta get rid of that cortex. I'd like to hit right there, but there we go. To move over. trying to just make that bevel nice and clean and crisp. A little tough right there. It's an indentation from a previous bulb force. Let's see. I think I'm going to tidy up that, and then I won't strike here to take flakes off because that cortex is still on the edge, but I can get some stuff on the ends. So there's two great ones right here without even looking. One there to strike, one there to strike. This one would go in and remove some mass going that way, and this one would take more off there. And then this is set up nice to tidy up and take flakes from. This one doesn't need much but ground. Braided. It's already got the right angle for striking. Maybe I'll do that. Clean platform right there. And when I brush where I'm going to hit, you can see it. So that's a real thick, heavy platform. It's not isolated. It's pretty broad, and there's a lot of mass to take off, so you can give this a little bit of a harder hit. Kind of feels a little funny right there for some reason. No, right there. There it went. There's the right there where I struck. It's right where I brushed earlier. Took off a bunch of that. There's it isolated some mass right here, and pretty sure we can still hit that and take something there, but I want to show that bulb up close with force, and I'm going to clean out the deltas next to it. I'm going to clean out the sharp parts left and right from where I struck, and it's going to get rid of all that thin. It's conical there, right? You can't take a flake anywhere in there without creating a hinge, so you got to get rid of all of it. And when you get rid of all of it, this platform's going to be exposed more, so we scrunch it. Maybe brush it. I was going to show it up close. Try to. I can't see the. It's still going. I'll show more of it later. But let's take a little flake there like that. careful here. Okay. You can see where I'm going to strike. It's that protruding platform there with the dust on it. Right there. Wipe it off, clean it up better. See, it's not up on the plane. It's right on the edge. Aim in the direction we want to remove the flake. And just barely hit it. Right there. Okay. I think I can strike right on this transition line where the cortex meets the good parent rock. Basically, it's going to be about might be hard to see, but that little dust spot next to the cortex. But it's gonna be real bulby. So don't, because it's not. There's not really an isolated mass. It's more of a really broad mass. So, but I'll hit it. Won't hit it too low, but I want to hit it kind of low to reduce the depth of the bulb. But when I see something that I think I can take, I mean, when you have confidence in it, you just go for it. So there's the platform right there. And I was really lucky to get a nice thin bulb. I didn't strike it too high. Really made that nice for doing something over here. So we'll scrunch this edge. You don't want to do this too much when you're doing it in this direction, because you'll change the angle. It'll roll and then be too steep to take a flake. So you really have to watch what you're doing. Like I said on the last video, my eye is making contact with this rock and this rock where they meet. I like the way that looks. Alright. What do we have? Well, there's a nice one right there that we can go straight in. Could be a nice big one. It'll be pretty thin, but probably kind of long. Always look underneath to see what flake you expect to get, and then hit it like you want that expectation. Mine came a hair short. It was really thin. Just gonna strike up high there. that up by overstriking. Now, let's see. Well, I kind of cleaned up a spot for a place to hit, but now it's where you strike it is really low and really thin, not heavy into the platform. I think I can maybe thicken it up by scrunching down. Like that, very much better. It's really steep right there. You have to hit just right. Get something. Could cheat. Come over here. Let's see. And I might get something. And if not, then I'll know I shouldn't have done it this way. Let me try to support most of the flake. That's striking it right. There we go. Alright. It was one of those where you really had to hit it just right, just the right place. It's probably hard to see that platform. There's the flake. Okay, now we keep working our way up the bevel. Working on a place to strike right in here somewhere to get rid of that mess. I'm going to clean up the delta from the last strike because I don't need that spot. Okay, if I can get in there. Yeah, I'm fixing to hit that. Maybe. Try to take advantage of that and see if I can strike that right on that transition of the cortex to the parent rock again. Show what it did. Just a nice little blending flake. It was exactly what I needed to get rid of that little bit of mass there. I'm gonna wipe this screen so I can see it. I'm chipping really close. I'm only about a foot to 14 inches and sometimes maybe 10. Let's see, we just keep working our way up this bevel, and if the angle isn't too steep and it's pretty shallow, then you can uniface a point. I'm taking advantage of a platform that's there already. It's not perfect, it's wonky, but you can make it work. You can just see it, and that's okay. You're learning to use a sandstone hammerstone. I'll show you what I was talking about. So you can see the lowest spot. I didn't strike on the lowest spot. I struck up that way, just a hair, and when you look underneath you can see it wasn't at the bottom, it was up over here. It just went in the direction of that ridge, and I struck up high because the bulb of force, you know, there's going to be some thickness there, and if you go too low, then you're going to snap the flake and hinge and not get what you want. But if you go a little bit higher, then it makes the flake just a little thicker, and that's what allows it to go. So if I would have hit that platform where it was too low, it wouldn't have allowed the flake to travel. So I just cheated and moved up. It's the easiest way, I think, to learn this, because you don't have to worry about isolating a platform. You can learn that later if you want, but I'll clean up. I can see there's place to take a flake right there. So it's real thin next to it, so I'm gonna isolate it, or clean that thin stuff up and isolate that platform a little bit while I'm doing that. But I don't think, ooh, better be careful. I don't think I'm going to have to adjust the bevel, which is what I want. Putting a little bit of downforce on that to knock off those little tiny burrs. And you can see that platform right there. That looks good. and you can see the flake, and you know what angle you need to strike at. You just get the platform close, and you can get the flake you want. Continue working with the bevel. I'm just kind of cleaning up and thickening the edge as I move down to kind of let this expose itself a little better. Maybe. I'm just going to grind that whole thing so you can see it's on a bevel. Very crisp, clean bevel. Very crisp, clean ground edge. It's just slightly thick. Won't take a heavy strike. I gave it a little grind underneath. Let's see. I think I could take that. Strike right there. Yeah. See, it's a little up higher, but nowhere to go. Just building down. We're just taking a flake because there was a way to take one there. Same as like right here, except there's this white cortex in the way. And I think I'm gonna wait for that and go to this end. This is nice on the end for just some really thin blending flakes if you wanted to. The contours right there are just set up real nice. Let's just take one or two of them. Clean it up. And give it a little grind so you can see a little bit. There's the edge. And there's not a lot of thickness underneath, and there's not a lot of contour, so right here on the end. And one here too. Just little blending things that we're trying to, I don't know, maintain a contour, a convex contour, I guess. It's kind of like building a bevel on the other side as we take flakes from this bevel and see what that'll do. If you notice, this edge is coming up now, right? So at some point you flip it over and it becomes a bevel. See, it's already working on it. So those were just little short blending flakes to clean up that bevel, and you've got a really shallow bevel, so you could take flakes from here forever if you wanted to. Going back that way, I mean, it's real narrow, so I'm just kind of, I don't know. Here's another spot right here that's flipping as well, that's turning. Remember, here's our bevel, we're striking from this way. And here's the one I was just talking about. that's starting to turn, and here's another one right here that's definitely turned quite a bit. Look at that. From there to there, that's a perfect little bevel that you could take flakes off of later. So I'm saying all this because I'm getting somewhere in later videos, more advanced stuff. So let's see. Right here. Cleaning up this where I just took that flake with some heavy brushing. Yeah, not heavy scrunching, heavy brushing, I guess, maybe. Boy, and that one, it's really sticking out. Pointy. It's not too pointy, but if you hit it right now, you're going to just get a really, really thin, narrow flake. I'm going to try to scrunch it down to kind of raise the strike platform up so that I don't have such a thin flake. It's really hard whenever there's a ridge right underneath it. Yes, got it. Ooh, it even shows up. See that tiny little flake? That's a scrunching flake. Just one little flake that I needed to raise that platform up. Now I'll clean up where, right, adjacent to where the flake came off. Thicken it up so you don't want that thin edge there when you strike. Alright, show you what that looks like. Okay, I just ground the whole area from there to there, but the platform is here, and you can see it's thick right there, thicker. So this is a nice thin ground edge, just like I was talking about, but we're going to take a brushing stroke, just like we have been, and you never know what you get. There's a little thinner spot right there, so it might break there. Might get lucky and take off some of this cortex right here too. It broke a little short. Really thin, see that? Just a brushing stroke with a little oomph for a little bit bigger flakes, and that came right off. It did break a little farther than I thought. It really didn't hinge out, just that was it. That's all it had. Clean up next to that. Really cleaning up and making a nice clean crisp bevel on the other side, or well, yeah, I guess maybe you could say that. It's not really clean and crisp, but it's lengthening. It was from there to there, now it's to there, where it's coming up over more. Boy, that's really exposing itself now. Let me try to take something over here and blend that out. There's just an isolator flake struck up on the plane, and wanted something short. You don't aim in the direction of here, aim in that direction so that you isolate a place to hit. right there. We'll clean that up. I'm wiping the camera lens because it gets dust on it. I just want to make sure you have a clear view. Really saved getting rid of all that white stuff for last, but see how it's protruding now? Remember before, this was the choke point. It went wider out here and wider out here. I'm exaggerating, but now it's and sticking out, just like in Beyond the Basics. Gone. Okay. Now we're gonna take some of this off. So we clean this off with some careful brushing or scrunching here. I'm just trying to thicken the edge and raise it up. I don't want it too low, because if the platform's too low, you know, a few things, but you can wrap the other end easier, like on an overshot, and the risk of overshot decreases as this platform moves into the center of the plane. I think I got a good place to strike. It's just broad, but I'm gonna hit it. Keep working away at the bevel. Getting rid of all the thin stuff as we go, exposing or creating thick edges. Not exposing, I guess it does though. It really does expose the thick edges. When you get rid of the thin stuff and expose the thick edges, just platforms emerge. Look. Working away at the bevel. Cleaning up the thin stuff. I think I can get a flake there. Use that method I was talking about earlier, where there's a platform there. Don't make it perfect. Just kind of use what's there, even though it's a little wonky. Let me grind it and take a look. It's on this ridge. I'm going to mark it. And need to flatten out the bottom of that ridge just a hair. Sometimes easier said than done. I'm using a hammerstone. Doesn't really flatten it out, it just rounds it off a little bit more. That might work. We're going to try it anyway. Good brushing stroke here. The hair bit overstrike wouldn't hurt. Pinch underneath the platform. Just worked with it. See, there's a ridge right here. It's too low. You strike right there and you're just going to cause problems. So we have a clean flake. Alright. Hair more cleanup. So remember where to start with. I'm gonna clean this off. And our bevel wasn't too steep, so we were fortunate enough to just work our way up the bevel as we took flakes off of this side. Compared to the way it looked before, there was quite a bit of cortex on it, and there was more masses, right? More mass here and right here than anywhere else. And it just flattened it right out, took it right out. So where this edge started to turn here, I'm gonna maybe clean it up a hair more and flip it over and take flakes from the other side. I probably should take a few more flakes there. It's pretty thin, cleaned up, so you don't need a lot. But the platform does have to be right, so got to clean it up. Some little over strikes, tiny ones to clean up those small little deltas. Alright, so I raised this bevel over here all the way up to there, and now I can flip it over and take a flake there. Let me give it a grind and get a closer look at it. Thicken the edge up a little more. Right there where I'm brushing, that's where I'm going to strike, and in that angle too, so you can see just going to go right in there. There you go. Okay, struck it right there. Brushing stroke, really spread out. And ladies and gentlemen, that is one way that you can reduce mass and make a biface. I just took one flake off this other side, but you can see, right, if you think and how you continue this, how you could just just continue that pattern of beveling and removing flakes. Then you work on that on a smaller scale and smaller scale and smaller scale, and we'll talk about that in future videos.